Have you ever wondered how the spider became so crafty and cunning? These aren't just ordinary traits that a spider picked up along the way. No, these are the hallmarks of a legendary character from West African folklore, known to many as Anansi the spider. Anansi is a character that has intrigued people for ages. He's adored for his sharp wit, yet equally feared for his cunning nature. Anansi isn't your average spider, he's a trickster, a character who always seems to be one step ahead of everyone else. He uses his intelligence and wit not just to survive, but to thrive, often outsmarting those who are much bigger and stronger than him. These tales of Anansi and his clever exploits have been passed down from generation to generation, shaping the way people perceive spiders and their sneaky ways. So let's dive into one of the most famous Anansi stories. Once upon a time, all the world's stories were kept in a box by the Sky God Nyame. In a world where stories were as precious as gold, Anansi, a cunning spider with a mind as sharp as a needle, had an insatiable desire. He yearned to own all the stories that were kept under the vigilant watch of Nyame, the sky god. But Nyame was not one to give away such treasures easily. He laid down a challenge before Anansi. He demanded that Anansi bring him 3 creatures, the slippery python, the fierce leopard, and the swarm of hornets, all alive and unharmed. Anansi, with his clever mind, accepted the challenge. He knew he couldn't overpower these creatures, so he decided to outsmart them. First, he tricked Python into stretching out to measure his length for a piece of rope, only to tie him up tightly. Then he dug a deep pit and lured the leopard into it, capturing him without a fight. Finally, he filled a calabash with water and poured it over the hornets, pretending it was rain. The hornets sought shelter in a hollow Anansi had prepared, and he swiftly closed it, trapping them inside. With all 3 creatures in his possession, Anansi presented them to Nyame. The sky god, surprised and impressed by Anansi's wit and cunning, granted him his wish. He handed over the precious box, filled with all the stories of the world. Anansi opened it and let the stories fly out, spreading them far and wide for everyone to hear and tell. And that, dear listeners, is how Anansi became the owner of all the stories. From then on, whenever a story was told, it was referred to as an Anansi story, a testament to the spider's wit and cunning that helped him earn the greatest treasure of all, the world's stories. But what is the moral of this incredible story? Well, it's all about intelligence and wit. You see, Anansi the spider, despite being small and seemingly insignificant, used his cleverness to navigate through the world, overcoming challenges that seemed impossible. He didn't rely on brute strength or physical prowess to get what he wanted. Instead, he used his sharp mind and quick wit. In life, we often think that the biggest and the strongest are the ones who will come out on top. But Anansi teaches us a different lesson. He shows us that it's not always about being the biggest or the strongest. Sometimes it's about being the smartest, the most resourceful, the most inventive. It's about using what you have to your advantage, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem. So, the next time you hear a story, remember Anansi the spider, the original master of wit and cunning. But why is Anansi so important in African folklore? You might wonder. Well, Anansi's significance lies not only in his crafty character, but also in the profound impact his tales have had on African culture. These stories, passed down through countless generations, have become a crucial part of the cultural fabric, imbued with the wisdom of the ages. Each Anansi tale, beyond its entertainment value, carries a vital lesson. They are like mirrors reflecting the values, norms, and ideas of the society from whence they sprang. They teach us about cunning and cleverness, about facing challenges with wit and humor, and about the consequences of our actions. The legacy of Anansi is one of timeless wisdom, of stories that transcend borders and generations. His tales are more than mere bedtime stories. They are the threads that weave together the rich tapestry of African culture. So, next time you weave a tale, remember Anansi, the original story owner, and let your words spin the web of intrigue and wisdom just like our clever spider. Speaking of spinning tales, it's time for you to become part of the story. As we have journeyed through the world of Anansi together, we've learned about his cunning, wit, and the wisdom he imparts through his tales. Now, it's your turn to join the adventure. We invite you to explore more about African folklore, to dive deeper into these stories that have shaped generations. Remember, each story is a thread, in the intricate web of culture, and you have the power to weave your own narrative. So start your adventure, let your curiosity guide you, and let the wisdom of Anansi illuminate your path. And while you're at it, if you enjoyed this tale of Anansi, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing stories from around the world. Let's continue this journey together, exploring, learning, and growing through the power of stories. Who knows? Maybe the next tale could be yours.